Hey guys, it's time for the weekly review of PCS4 highlights.
Hello out there to all the viewers.
Hi guys, Toby here. I cannot wait to get started and show you how EU has been going.
Hey everyone, I'm excited to be a part of the show today.
Yo, what's up guys? Paper Thin here from Asia.
Just last week, PCS4 finally got underway. 4 days of play, 4 regions, action around the world. It was non-stop, it was awesome, and we've gathered the best highlights brought to you by the casters from the regions to put up against each other and decide who had the best week. At the end, I have the enviable job, or maybe terrible depending on how you look at it, of picking the best highlight and making 3 casters very sad and 1 very, very happy. First up on the list, as well as first up in PCS4, is the APAC region. Xenox, what do you got for me?
Yeah, APAC's return to the PCS stage has been so exciting. Teams, of course, looking to navigate the new format. Some of them have adjusted well, others have taken a little bit of time to get going. If we go and have a look at the standings, of course, for these teams. Now, you will notice 2 familiar names at the very top of the standings. Fury and Buram United, both taking 3 wins apiece over the first 2 days of action for PCS4 APAC. Now, 2 chicken dinners on day 1 apiece, and then they both picked up a win as well on day number 2, which made things a little bit harder to predict going into the final few games as to who was going to come away with first place. However, though, Fury, of course, they were able to get the kill differential that saw them knock out their rivals Buram down into that 2nd position. Day Trade is, of course, a team that is number 1 in the pick'ems. We'll be seeing if they can meet their fan expectations in week 2. Okay, we're going to go and have a look at some of the highlights now, right? This is all of the best moments over the first week of PCS4 APAC. Not a surprise to see Fury amongst the highlights already. Their usage of their frag grenades is above all else the best in the region. You can see Colony under fire here from Fury as they were pushing in. This was match 5 of day 1. They ended up with a 14-kill chicken dinner. 7 kills with nades as well, even some Molotovs thrown in to get those eliminations, and Fury is pretty much unmatched when it comes to their ability to use their utility in the APAC region. They are, of course, a team that is already considered the best in the region, but then you throw in the nades and there is no one better. Team number 1 was another team that came to the demise of Fury as they were pushing through Erangel slowly in this 5th match. So let's go and have a look at the second highlight here, of course. This is going to be Buram United's massive 19-kill chicken dinner over on Miramar. This was on day 2, match number 10. This got them back into the contention to be able to dethrone Fury. With 2 games to go, this got them from a position where they didn't look likely to get first, and then with 2 games to go, suddenly the pressure was right back onto Fury. They were behind. Fury had the 3 chicken dinners, Buram only had the 2. They were desperate, and you could see it in their play. Pushed into a nice compound that teams tried to crash. Of course, the APAC region, as ever, always, they like to push onto compound buildings, and Buram punished them nicely towards the end. Nordra, pushing up this hill, was able to catch off guard Team Bliss. Rain and Textile were over towards the left-hand side, close to Nordra, but unfortunately did not see him coming. As he pushes up, he got information on both of the players. He was able to get the first knock onto Textile rather easily. Took a bit of time with Rain, but afterwards got the knock, and that basically opened up the game for Buram. Remembering they only had the 3 players to the 4 players of Team Bliss. And a really solid ending here as well for Buram as they pushed up the hill. It still wasn't easy. Team Bliss had a bit of a high ground. They still had 2 players up. Monty, of course, he was a player that was very, very solid for Team Bliss, and Bryn was still alive. And at the end here for Bryn, now this is a Buram highlight reel, of course. They got a 19-kill win, but Bryn almost spoiled the party as he had a 1 versus 3 opportunity. All 3 members of Buram ran past Bryn. He was able to get a nice, quick, clean knock on the first player. They didn't quite have full information. He gets back up, and now it's only a 1 versus 2. The immediate headshot, the spray onto Nordra as he's still throwing that grenade, and he's able to capitalize. Well, that's the APAC region, Toffees, and what it can show for in terms of the highlights. What were your thoughts for the APAC region?
Well, I'll say this for you. You have a lot of confidence, and I'll be honest, that bury round play was pretty amazing. But let's take a look at our next group. That is the Americas highlights. Horosaurus, I know that we had some newcomers to the scene, some new sub-regions put together. I can't wait to see what you got for me.
You know, it's obvious we did have a lot of newcomers, but we also have one of the most stacked lobbies in the world, as everybody knows from our performance at PGIS. Now, the question is, were those PGIS teams going to continue their high performance that they had all throughout this year so far? And were some of these newcomers going to come in and knock them off their perch? I don't know what I'll leave the decision up to you. The highlights we have, though, are great. Well, speaking of Toffees, to wrap up week 1 of America, Sonics took first place with 2 chicken dinners and 84 kills, a phenomenal amount of kills. Now, it wasn't easy. Day 1, we had 6 games, 6 different winners, and it wasn't until day 2 that we saw some teams starting to step up and go for that second win. Also, having a team that decided to make a late day run despite having a pretty poor performance on day number 1. Now, relatively less experienced PCS teams were making up the majority of the lobby, so a lot of questions were there as that was going to make the more experienced teams have an easier go of things.